So, Shreya, nice to meet you again.
Yes.
I was looking forward to this meeting, and we met for a couple of times, but didn't have a chance to record this as I'm meeting all the best people in the AI community of the accelerator for some time. I wanted to ask you some questions publicly. Okay?
Yeah, let's go.
So can you please introduce yourself about a little bit about your story, about your success on LinkedIn, and how you do the coaching for personal branding?
Sure. So, hi everyone, I'm Shreya Pattar. I am a personal brand coach on here with the Accelerator, but I also run a LinkedIn branding agency. And I got started on LinkedIn almost 6 years ago at this time. My first post on LinkedIn went viral. I had 1.5 million views on the post, and that's why a lot of people reached out asking if I could kind of help them gain similar numbers and reach and impressions on LinkedIn. And yes, over time, here we are. At this point, I run an agency. I conduct a lot of corporate trainings as well. I do this coaching, and yeah, looking forward to this.
So how many calls usually do you make a big coaching calls? I think you have a lot of students.
Yes, I mean, with the Accelerator, it's been over 400. That's been all within the AI space as well. So there's been a lot of exposure towards new AI agency owners or new AI-based freelancers. That's been exciting. And otherwise, I do work one-on-one as well. That's typically 4 or 5 people every month.
Thank you for sharing, Shreya. And by the way, what types of mistakes do you observe regularly from the startup founders?
I think most people wait for a long time before they get started with LinkedIn. But what we've seen is when even if you're an early stage founder, if you can get started with your branding, show up on LinkedIn a few times, it really helps with lead generation. It really helps with trust building. We've worked with a lot of SaaS founders as well. So for them, it really helped with, get easier conversations with investors. It increased their brand value as well. So all of these things go up with LinkedIn. And I think when you're starting out, especially if you're doing cold outreach, the first thing somebody is going to do when they get your email is they will look you up online. And LinkedIn is one of those platforms that has really strong SEO. So if you post consistently, your name, even if there are many people like you, your name, your company name will come up first. And all of that can help you close clients much easily as well. So there's a lot of benefit. And I think you don't need to wait until you're at, making a lot of money or you've served 1,000 customers. You can start right now.
Yeah, that's a very good piece of advice. If you start on LinkedIn, and people find you, your profile, what type of markers or parts of your LinkedIn profile do they pay attention to?
I think it's mostly my content. So whenever I get on a call with someone, I typically do ask them how they found me. So it's been either they came across my content while scrolling on LinkedIn, or interestingly, a lot of people do find me through ChatGPT as well. So now when they look up, personal branding strategist or LinkedIn strategist, LinkedIn ghostwriter, LinkedIn agencies, they find me and that's how they end up booking a call with me. So I think on LinkedIn, the key factors would be having my proper content in place. And I think my featured section really helps there because I have a call booking link. I have some case studies as well, and I have some of my ebooks that really helps build credibility even if they're brand new to my profile. And I would say on the call booking front, that really helps because it gives them an easy way to just reach out to me and set up a time with me. So as opposed to having to DM me first and then deciding whether or not to book a call. So that has really helped me get more discovery calls in. And I think just making sure that my call booking link is just available as easily as possible. That has been definitely one of the key aspects that people focus on.
So do you have a magic formula for the headline for people who want to attract clients, not to make their profile like CD?
Yeah, I think there's a good combination of things that you should include in your profile. The first is your USP. So just kind of what is your unique selling proposition? What is something that you do that differentiates you from other people? As much as possible, try to mention that in your headline. And if you can add some sort of credibility, so how many clients have you worked with? How many industries have you served? How much revenue have you helped generate? How much time have you helped save? All of these things really add to the fact that you have previous experience, and that's why people would be more likely to actually give you a shot and actually have a conversation with you. And definitely a call to action. You should let people know how they can best reach out to you. Would that be DMing you? Would that be, clicking a link below, booking a call, buying a product, filling up some sort of wait list? So have a CTA because people need to be told what to do next, and just make it very easy for them.
And how this headline should correlate to the banner? Should one hire some designer or use some Canva templates or start from scratch? And what types of visuals should he put on his head?
So the visuals again should be in alignment with what you have to offer. So let's say if you have a USP in the headline, maybe you can add a couple more relevant bullet points in your banner. If you already have a lot of credibility, let's say your work has been published in a few articles, you've done some interesting podcasts, you've worked with interesting clients, you can add all of their logos on the bottom of the banner. So again, that adds credibility. So you might see in a lot of magazines or in a lot of books how they say as seen on TV, as seen on, as heard on radio, whatever. So something of that effect basically happens here. And again, a call to action. So again, what is the action you want people to take once they land on your profile? That should be mentioned in your banner as well.
Yeah, yes, thank you. So it's a good advice. I was featured 2 times in Forbes, so I definitely put this as well.
Yes.
But in terms of the picture that they see, this avatar, what they see, I see a lot of profiles that don't have picture at all, or have some animation like a duck or cat or something not relevant at all. But some people are they're smiling, and some people are very, very strict. So what advice do you have for the
So you can just use a picture of yourself. Of course, that builds trust. People should know what you look like. It's easier then for people to reach out to you. I would say your face should cover as much of the profile picture as possible. Like, of course, have some space, but at least 60% of the circle should be your face. It should be clear, high quality picture. You can smile. It doesn't have to be too seen. But yeah, I think that's it. Like, you don't have to have a professional photo shoot. As long as it's taken with a camera that's clear and that's high quality, it's good enough.
Yeah, that's very important advice as well for many people who make a mistake of doing very silly, in my opinion, quite silly impressions of their face, which is their brand. Well, right, your brand is also your face because this is the interface with the world. So, what about the content? How often should we post content, and what kind of content attract more viral, makes more impressions and has viral potential?
I would say storytelling posts work the best. As long as you can share some sort of narrative, have some sort of, draw upon your own experience, bring some personality towards your personal brand, I think that performs the best. Again, if you have relevant pictures to upload that suit the kind of messaging you have in the post, that combination of good storytelling plus a relevant picture, that performs the best. I wouldn't really say that virality is the most important thing, but I think consistent messaging, brand alignment with yourself, I think those things matter much more, because a viral post typically does not involve a sales post. In the AI space, for example, there's a lot of giveaway posts that people do. They get thousands of comments. But if you notice, most of these comments are from other AI agency owners, other AI freelancers that will typically not turn into clients. So yes, that kind of post is good for, let's say, credibility in some sense. If you feature it, you have 1,000 comments, that's interesting. But at the same time, it's not really contributing towards generating leads overall. So I wouldn't do too much of that, for example. So when we talk about, let's say, what works best on LinkedIn, there are various options. Of course, a giveaway post can get you a lot of engagement. But I think overall, in terms of actually building trust and actually showing your expertise and letting people get to know you as a business owner, you as an agency owner, I think storytelling is the best way to go about it.
I think also you mentioned during one of our last coaching call that there should definitely be a photo, some kind of picture or illustration behind the text.
Yes, typically that performs well.
And what about the video? Should I put the video right in the post, like so shorts of like my podcast or speaking with other people, or my solo or my presentation video of it? Or should I post a link to YouTube or other video sharing platforms?
Yeah, either way works. If you have main platform is YouTube, for example, you can talk about the topics on LinkedIn and you can maybe use a screenshot of your YouTube video or of the thumbnail. And then if you're sharing that, watch the full video, just put the YouTube link in the comments. so that people can just go to the comments, click the link, and then they can watch the full video if they want. But there's various ways to, let's say, use that video for LinkedIn. You can do a screenshot or a thumbnail. You can also do, let's say, some sort of summary of the podcast. You can give a shout out to the person that you did the podcast with. It's a good way of getting engagement from their network as well. You can also use a small clip, let's say from the entire podcast, what was your favorite part, and maybe just 1 minute, 90 seconds or so. You can crop that out, add some subtitles, and post that on LinkedIn. And again, just keep telling people that if they want to watch the full episode, they can go to YouTube and watch it. And the link is in the comments. So various ways you can experiment with different styles for each episode.
Yeah, thank you. That's great advice. And as far as I think, as I know, whenever you post a video, it's better to put closed captions or titles with some text over it, because many people, they watch on the go or in transport or somewhere where they cannot put the sound. So they should be able to view the video and read what is there. People talking, and there is some text. And also, there is a bad practice is to put right in the text or the link to YouTube, because LinkedIn doesn't like it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what about you mentioned the strategy about tagging different businesses or people and like giving a shout out. So, I think in my case, I tried this and it works wonderfully. And one man, 2 days ago, we met with a Instagram owner who owns 200,000 subscribers. We had a common photos on Instagram, and then I got 100 likes from his audience. So it's and he has almost 1 million subscribers on TikTok. So he's like a very active guy.
Yeah.
So I think, how do you comment? How do you strategically add other people, tag them in the content?
I mean, again, it should be relevant. So let's say if you met them at an event, you can tag them, you can talk about it. If it was their event, or if you invited them to a podcast, you can tag them as well. If there was, let's say, a course you went through that was produced by them, or one of their ebooks, had a coaching session with them, had any sort of like advice that you got from them, or you even saw one of their other podcasts and you liked their insight, then you can create a post about that and tag them. The idea is that it shouldn't come off as spammy. It shouldn't, because I have a big account. I typically get a lot of people who tag me in their posts. But as long as unless it's relevant, I would not engage with it. So I get a lot of people who reshare, let's say, something from my ebook, and they say they really liked it. Or there are some of my podcasts that have performed really well. They have hundreds of thousands of views. And those podcasts typically get a lot of shout out posts on LinkedIn saying this really helped me with my freelancing or with my LinkedIn. So all of those things, when people tag me, yes, I engage because it's about me. But if I see I'm part of like 50 other tags in the bottom of the post, then that's not relevant to me.
Yeah, yes, I agree with that. And it looks kind of scam. And what about the SEO and content that you create like on LinkedIn pools and have some different page for just for the longer post, because you are limited in what you can tell in small post. What do you comment on the content generation in the text form, and maybe some visuals as a separate articles only?
Do you mean how long a post should be?
I mean, do you think that the strategy of creating content in SEO, like large articles in different, you create different page and you have full posts like 2,000 words, 2,500, like on the blog, which you cannot put on the usual post on LinkedIn. Do you think this strategy is good for your SEO, for so people will notice you?
I wouldn't recommend creating a different page altogether. You can have a company page, yes. You can have company content, yes. But the overall idea is, I think maybe most people watching this, maybe they are starting out or so. So when you're starting out, it can get very overwhelming to manage just one profile, let alone 2 or more. So what I would recommend is start off with a personal brand. Create a company page if you like, because you want to mention you're a solopreneur or a founder and you want to have that company page in your experience section. The best way to start is just stick to one profile. In fact, I would say stick overall to just one social media platform. So if you've picked LinkedIn, for example, do just that and do it really well for 6 months. Grow a significant audience on there. Post as much content as you can. Experiment with styles that work. Study what is working for other people and do more of that. And then consider expanding to other platforms, because otherwise it's just very overwhelming. As in how you scale, you have not only posting, but you have comments, you have DMs to take care of. You may have outreach messages that you're doing. You may have calls that you're booking. Like there's a lot of aspects that come into play in your day to day, which sometimes people think that it's just one LinkedIn post. I can write it in 10 minutes, but when they sit down to write it, they realize it's not like that at all. So I mean, if I understand your question correctly, then yes, I wouldn't recommend doing multiple pages. I would just start with one, do it as well as you can, and then maybe consider adding another one on.
That is sound advice, and all of what you say, I agree. And it looks like whenever you develop it, myself, I notice it that even now I have a lot of comments, messages already. I need to put aside like 1 hour per day to take care of all of this, making content and reacting to the reactions of people, and adding just people from add people. I connect to people who recommended to me by LinkedIn. So I don't have sales navigator, I don't have premium at the moment, but LinkedIn recommends people based on my activity, and I add about 25-30 people per day, and most of them they accept, and I have quite an advanced, I think fully developed LinkedIn page, so I have some credibility. So what do you think about this strategy of adding people on your network just by connecting to them?
Yeah, I think that's okay to start off. Just make sure that they're part of your target audience overall. So you're not just adding random connections. And typically, if they have some sort of activity, some sort of engagement, that's better because they're likely to either engage with your content or, actually, it might help you actually get their network to engage with you as well. If you don't have premium, that's okay. You can start off with like the free version, absolutely fine. But I would just make sure to create more content as well, because if you have good content, if you have the right headline, banner, your profile is optimized, then when people get your message, they will check your profile. And if they like what they see, they're more likely to connect. So just always make sure these things are properly updated. If you're sending out 100 connection requests every week, that's a lot of work. And you just want to make sure that you're making the most of it. So make sure your profile is optimized. I think then you can see good results there.
So I'm actually not noticing the results, and within even a couple of months, my engagement has grown and improved. Yeah. So what about the types of outreach? So whenever some people write to me, it's like a lot when they have some inbound traffic, but sometimes, and actually I'm not doing the outbound, almost not, but I want to start it sometime, and maybe I will need some automation software for this. So can you comment on the call to outreach manually, and then with some automation software? So what is the strategy? Just comment on their posts or just write them straight in, ask them questions, involve them. Because many people write to me, some people write to me, and usually whenever I notice that they want to sell me something, I usually try not to reply.
Yeah, okay. I personally don't do much outreach either, and I don't use any automations if I reach out to anyone, because LinkedIn does have a lot of limitations with tools. So I would say, although there are quite a few options, just be very careful so that you don't get restricted or banned on LinkedIn. But otherwise, yeah, if you pitch in your first message, just make sure it's very, very short. And always include some sort of case study, because if people see metrics, then it's just a more tangible way for them to understand you as well. And the second thing you can do is just as simple as, I noticed you liked my post, just curious if you're building anything around the AI space, or if you're building anything around the AI automation space in your agency, in your business. You're just starting the conversation. The question you ask can, of course, differ, but you're just kind of bringing the point up about AI automation, considering you're in that agency space. You can also do that, by the way, with people who view your profile. So especially if you have premium, you can see who has viewed your profile, and you can reach out to them saying, hey, I noticed you viewed my profile. I was curious if you're doing anything around the same, whatever you do kind of space. So that's just a good way of starting interactions with people.
So I'm building my personal brand now across 3 platforms. And I do it on YouTube by interviewing AI owners from the community and different people. I started in Ukrainian, but now I switched to English only. And I make 3-4 interviews per week, and I publish on YouTube, and then I publish, like you suggested, you recommended some thumbnail and then some description and the link in the comment. I do this, and also sometimes I do cropped clips and describe what I there. And sometimes I tag people who I met, so have quite a good of involvement now. But what do you recommend in terms of wider picture of building personal brand? Maybe you have some recommendations for me, as you know me for some time. Just how to some big points and maybe my voice appearance, bad English.
No, I think you're doing pretty well. And also, you mentioned you were recently invited to speak for a big event. So yeah, I saw that post. I think it's amazing. So good luck with that as well. And I think you're just overall doing a good job, especially in terms of bringing a lot of people together on your profile, because I noticed that you're doing a lot of interviews and your posts come up on my feed often as well. So as much as it can be relevant to what you do, so if you can just add more context on why people can follow you, what they can expect from you, maybe a reintroduction post every 2-3 months or so would be nice. So you can reintroduce yourself and say, hi everyone, like I just thought we've built a community here. There are 200 more of you in the last couple of months. So I just thought I would reintroduce myself and just add that introduction. And I think that could be a good way for maybe people to book a call with you, understand a bit more about what you do exactly and why they could reach out to you.
Yeah, thank you, Shreya. It was very rich and how to say deep advice. Even though I know many things I learned from you and from your coaching calls and from your workshops, but still every time that I meet you, I learn something new. Thank you a lot. So thank you, Shreya.